It's Finance Friday. First Ontario's Senior Manager of Business Services, Colin Cyr, is here to talk about how small businesses can compete in a big business world. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Rick. Yeah.
So small businesses versus the big players on the market, the big box stores, how do they compete?
Yeah, I think it can be intimidating for small business, right? You think about the big players in your industry and say, how do I possibly compete? And in many ways you can't at scale compete with them. And so this is where small businesses have to think a little bit more strategically about how they can sort of out-tailor their approach. And this is not unique in any industry. I mean, I even think in our own credit unions versus banks, right? We don't try to compete on scale, but what we have to do is understand what's our unique value proposition. What do we do better and uniquely to help differentiate ourselves in the market? So we'll talk a little bit about how businesses, small businesses, can dial in on their value proposition and use that to kind of target a customer directly and helps support their success.
So let's target on that value proposition. How do they do that?
Yeah, so I mean, it starts with a business plan. Business owners want to think strategically about who's my customer, what's the person that I'm trying to uniquely reach, and why am I best suited to support that customer. And I like to use an example. I'm a runner, so a great Canadian company, The Running Room, right? There's a business that started out in Canada and Alberta in the 80s. They couldn't possibly compete with the big box retailers on scale or size, but what they did well is they knew what their customers were, and they said, hey, listen, we want to cater to runners. We're going to run running groups. We're going to have training plans, gait analysis, expert advice on running. So it wasn't just selling a product, it was an experience. And that's a really successful business now as a result. So business owners too want to be thinking about what's the experience I'm trying to create for my customer that maybe those big retailers can't possibly do themselves. And that's where you can help carve out that niche.
We're going to be entering, or we have entered spring. Summer's going to arrive as well. Or is the change in seasons a good opportunity for business to say, okay, we can capitalize on what we do best?
Yeah. They say summer is coming. There's a lot of jackets there in the closet back there, but let's pretend like it's coming. And it typically does present a really good opportunity for small business. So opportunities for consumers, they want to get out there and spend a little bit more money, even in a tough economy. Doesn't always translate to demand. So businesses have to really do these things to help, create that demand. So one of the things we like to say is your businesses now have these point of sale terminals that are really effective in helping you understand those seasonal trends. So when the summer comes, what type of inventory is your customer looking for? How do you target and tailor campaigns to bring in a certain customer at a certain time of year where you know they're going to be coming? These terminals are more than just accepting payments. They really have a whole ton in the way of data analytics to help support that.
And I would imagine these small business owners have all this analytics. They must come to you to say, how do I use this?
Yeah, absolutely. It can actually help support financing requests. So when a business comes to us and says, hey, listen, I have this historical data that tells me I'm going to get this many customers generally at this time of year. They're seeking this amount of inventory. I need you to help support financing that. And so the bank will say, that is really good insight. It's as good as a financial statement in some ways. It's real raw data. And we'll say, yeah, absolutely. We can help support it with working capital or directly finance that inventory for you. Data knowledge is power. So businesses should be tapping into that.
Any other advice quickly before we go?
I would just say don't be intimidated by the sheer scale of big business. Small business, they have a unique opportunity to really consider who they are, and that can be exciting. I get excited about it every day. Like, how do we create a really good experience? I think Warren Buffett said, think about delighting your customer on a regular basis, and you'll never have a bad day.
Yeah, so many amazing small businesses out there, and thanks to First Ontario for helping a lot of them out.
Thank you.
Thank you, Colin. You can email your questions to financefriday@firstontario.com. If your question or topic is selected to be covered on air, you'll receive a gift card from First Ontario.